mais de uma semana, mais de 400 municípios gaúchos tiveram bairros inteiros engolidos por uma chuva que não parava de cair. No momento em que eu gravo esse vídeo, a maior tragédia climática da história do Rio Grande do Sul já deixou mais de 100 mortos e afetou mais de 1,5 milhão de pessoas.
You probably had a lot of questions surrounding this video, including why did it happen? Well, that was the infamous flooding in Brazil that occurred recently in 2024. This flood is much more important than you think. This was one of 4 major hydrological disasters Brazil has had in the last 25 years. To fully understand why this happened, we have to go all the way back. On September 7th, 1822, Brazil gained independence from Portugal, when Pedro I became the emperor of the Empire of Brazil. Brazil was a country rich in resources, and still is today. Portugal gave many things to Brazil, such as Christianity and European influence. In 1889, Brazil established the Federal Republic. Set up by a coup by Pedro II, the new Republic of Brazil created a new constitution in 1891, giving powers to the states. They also focused on the production on coffee and dairy, which the states of Minas Gerais and São Paulo dominated. On November 10, 1937, a coup led by Getúlio Vargas caused the government to become a dictatorship. He called the country the Estado Novo. However, Brazil still joined the Allies in World War II. Not long after Vargas' death, Brazil had a brief period of political instability and rising debt and inflation. This caused the military to stage a coup in 1964. They had full control of the country and many people were hurt during their rule. In 1985, Tancredo Neves, a civilian, was elected president for the first time in 12 years. This marked the end of the military dictatorship. After that, a new constitution was set up which decreased the president's powers. This marked by political corruption and hyperinflation. This brings to modern Brazil. Today, Brazil is an energetic country rich in culture and natural resources, known for their European influence, love of football, and celebrations. Brazil has improved their economy a lot since then. Brazil's main religions are Catholicism and Protestant, coming from the influence of Portugal. Religion in Brazil does not make as big of an impact you would expect though. Brazil also has a lot of Europeans in their population. Due to mass European immigration during the 16th and 19th centuries, there are communities of Portuguese, German, Dutch, Italian, and Polish descendants. There is even a significant amount of East Asians in Brazil. Those who are of mixed ethnicity in Brazil are called pardos. About 43% of the country are considered pardos. Brazil focuses on the exports of iron ore, oil, coffee, and machinery. The total GDP is about $2 billion and GDP per capita is about $12,000. For reference, the US has GDP per capita of about $80,000. Poverty in Brazil contributes to a lot of their problems. About 21% of the country is in poverty, while the US's rate is half of that. Brazil's currency, the real, or real, is equivalent to about $0.18. This means that $1 US is 5.65 reals. In general, most Brazilians live in the east and south. The north and west states have the Amazon rainforest and are poorer than others due to it. The Amazon makes these regions less inhabitable. Brazil is very well known for their love for football. It is their main sport and they are considered one of the best teams in the world. They hosted the World Cup in 2014, which affected their economy badly and led to protests. In June, Brazil celebrates Carnival, which is a widely known celebration filled with samba and nationalism. Even with these improvements in Brazil, there are many flaws there. Violence, damage to the ecosystem, and corruption in the government are plaguing the country. Violence in Brazil is a huge problem. Brazil has a high homicide rate and a high gun violence as well. Most of the violence is caused by gangs in favelas, or slums in Brazil. Gangs control entire favelas, which makes it difficult for the government to stop them. Corruption in the government has been a big issue in Brazil. In this clip, President Lula was arrested in 2017 for corruption. Many presidents are said to be corrupted. An example of this is when President Jair Bolsonaro threatened the Supreme Court and took over 4 criminal cases. Brazil's governments have not been helping conserve the Amazon. The government introduced bills that allowed people to deforest and provide protection from the law. This allows easier access to environmental licensing and opening indigenous land to mining. Going back to the floods in the beginning, those are the Rio Grande do Sul floods in Brazil, the most severe flood in Brazil since 1941. Brazil has had thousands of hydrological disasters since. Floods, droughts, and wildfires have all attacked the country. Many people focus on the other problems in Brazil, but hydrological disasters have been much more at large. They cause people to die and even more to be displaced. They also cause immense infrastructural damage as well. To truly understand these disasters, we need to see the causes of them. Rio Grande do Sul is a southern state in Brazil. It has some low areas and some high areas. For example, Porto Alegre, the capital, is mostly plains and is at a near sea level. Another place, Laguna dos Patos, is a low-lying flat lagoon. Both of these areas are prone to flooding, which is what happened. Major rivers in the state cause the water in them to divide to different places. On the east, the water flows to Porto Alegre and then eventually ends up in Laguna dos Patos. Additionally, the Guarani Aquifer is a large underwater reservoir that stores water. However, if it rains too much, it will overflow and cause floods. These were just the factors in Rio Grande do Sul. Other states followed the same pattern. They all have rivers, and because of Brazil's heavy rain, it makes them vulnerable to floods. Their infrastructure is weak and is badly planned. Drainage systems are flawed, houses are built in weak spots. In the Rio Grande do Sul floods, the total infrastructural damage added up to about 55 billion reais, which is about $9 billion. The floods killed about 180 people and more than 500,000 were displaced. In other states, like São Paulo in 2023, they suffered flooding in the north and left thousands homeless. Minas Gerais also had more than 60,000 people displaced. In Rio de Janeiro, they suffered hundreds of landslides as well, which had massive infrastructural damage. With all these floods occurring in Brazil, the government has taken some measures to reduce the effect on the country. Mara Ramos, the superintendent of the Department of Water and Electric Energy, said that the focus on the government of São Paulo is to make the infrastructure more resistant to the disasters. The state has invested 650 million reais, or $117 million, towards the cleaning of rivers, increasing capacity of water flow, pumping systems, and the construction of dams. SMS messages inform about storms, geological risks, lightning, and other risk situations. To register, just send a message with the zip code of the desired location to the number 40199. Many non-governmental organizations came to help Brazil during desperate times. Groups like All Hands and Hearts, or AHAH, are a volunteer group that helps clean mud and have built hundreds of beds for the citizens. Another group that also joined them was the Red Cross. They gathered 14,000 people, and they all helped by distributing cleaning kits and gave comprehensive care to thousands of people. Finally, international government organizations like the United Nations and the World Bank have also helped. The UN has had their own programs to help Brazil, and the World Bank has helped Brazil financially. Brazil's hydrological problem has been at large today due to many factors. Floods have recently been affecting a lot of people in the country, but with the help of the government and many organizations, these problems weaken but still occur. Hydrological problems are often overlooked and need to be fixed in Brazil.